Back to more breaking news. A new ultimatum for Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois over the militarization of ICE enforcement in Chicago. Pritzker says he was told by the Trump administration if he refuses to call up National Guard troops, the Defense Department will do it for him. NBC's Julie Sirkin has reached out to the White House for reaction. We are still awaiting a response, but back with me now, we have Joyce Vance. So, Joyce, is this battle headed to the courts? Does the president or the Department of Defense have constitutional authority to do this?
So this will land in the courts very quickly, just like last week Portland, Oregon went to court, and other cities where this has happened, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., are already in court. You know, the landscape has now become very familiar. There's a federal law, the Posse Comitatus Act, that prohibits the military from participating in federal law enforcement of U.S. criminal law against people in this country. And so typically we only see National Guard troops federalized when the governor actually requests that the president do that to help with an issue. For instance, protests in Los Angeles during the Rodney King situation. That's an example where federal troops, or rather where National Guard troops were federalized. It's extremely unusual, almost limited to this president, to see that happening when a governor says, no, we're good. We've got our law enforcement situation under control.
We have already seen late-night raids in Chicago. Agents have been dressed up in camouflage. They've been pointing long guns at residents of an apartment building. Does ICE have legal authority to do that, Joyce?
So ICE's situation is different. They actually are federal law enforcement. They have a law enforcement mission. But of course, they're constrained, for instance, by laws that prohibit the use of excessive force. They're constrained by their own internal policies. They can't go about arresting whoever they want to. They've got to have probable cause in order to make an arrest. Typically, agents would consult with prosecutors and would be getting an arrest warrant before something like that took place. So a lot of what we're seeing is a federal agency that now has supervision, that has leadership, that's encouraging it to push, if not break, the bounds of federal law enforcement's mission.
But at what point does constitutional authority end and states' rights begin when both the mayor and the governor say no thanks?
Right. So, you know, with federal law enforcement, that's less of an issue because there's parallel law enforcement duties. So, for instance, when I was a U.S. attorney, federal agents worked seamlessly and side by side with our state and local counterparts. They have separate but parallel missions. But when you're talking about bringing the National Guard in against the governor's wishes, that's a very different environment. And of course, judges that have looked at this setting have tended to indicate that the president is exceeding his power. The real issue, though, is that Trump has the authority to make these proclamations, and he can go ahead and do pretty much as he pleases until a court steps in and tells him no.
Okay, Joyce Vance, thank you so much. Appreciate you as always.